And welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Shelley Whitehead. It's a joy to have you with us. Hope you had a great weekend. Some great weather on Sunday, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful week this week. So make sure you get out and enjoy this amazing, weird fall weather. We want to thank you so much for joining us right here on the show today. We're going to have a great show. We're going to be speaking about the Harvest Festival coming up in Owatonna, as well as a look at some hawk pictures that Leanne has done. So it's a really fun, entertaining opportunity for you to see what's going on in your community. We love that you are a part of our community, and if you have an idea of something you'd like to see right here on the Owatonna Today Show, all you have to do is send us an email at owatonnatoday@charter.net. Let us know what you'd like to see. You can give Leanne Alt a call at 390-5751 and let her know what you'd like to see. We'll see what we can do, because this is your station, your channel, trying to find out what you'd like to see in the community. Please stay with us. We will be right back on the Owatonna Today Show.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Hi, this is Laura Resler greeting you from the Steele County Historical Society's History Center, where we're honoring the past and looking towards the future. We're proud to be a sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show. We've got with us in the studio Laura Resler and Melanie Sunnarborg. Sunnarborg. I should have asked before. Fired. So, ladies, it's harvest time.
It is.
The trees are just starting to turn. Maybe it'll be a little bit later this season. I don't know. But just starting. Tomorrow's October. All things fall. We're going to enjoy that. So I'm excited about this. But first, I want you to do me a quick favor and introduce yourselves and let us know what you do in the community, and then we'll talk a little bit about the festival.
Well, I'm Laura Resler, and I'm the director at the Historical Society and one of the volunteers on the Chamber Promotions Committee.
And I'm Melanie Sunnarborg, and I'm the Main Street Director at the Chamber.
Well, tell me a little bit about that, Melanie, the Main Street Director.
Sure. So we run the Main Street program, and we work on 4 different components: organization, design, promotion, and economic restructuring of the downtown area primarily.
Specifically, yeah.
Yep, specifically. So one component is promotion, which we're going to talk a little bit more about, and then we have design. So we do bike racks, the flower baskets, the street banners, different ways to enhance the overall appeal of downtown. Mm-hmm. And then economic restructuring, we help to fill vacancies in our downtown and make sure that it's the right mix of businesses. So,
why is that so important to have that vital downtown element?
Well, the Central Business District has always been kind of one of the primary locations in our community. It currently houses 183 businesses. Wow. So it's a pretty important economic component to our community. Mm-hmm. So it was about 10 years ago that the members of the Chamber decided that we wanted to focus on the Main Street efforts and put in place a program that would hone in on that Central Business District.
And do you have any idea of the changes, like how many shops may have been vacant at the time that are now filled? Do you have an idea about that?
I don't have, a good history between retail and things. We're primarily a service-based downtown at the present moment, and we have a 95% occupancy rate.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's fairly high, even though I know a few people would look at the vacant buildings and go, oh, it's dying, but we're at a high occupancy rate currently. So.
Well, and it's such an interesting, I think, to me, concept, because the downtown is the heart of the community, and there are people who've been here, of course, their whole life, so they remember certain things. I'm thinking like the theater that was down there, and it was such a struggle to know what to do with that for so long.
Right.
And to take that down was hard, but it's something that the community needs to do as a whole to kind of make it better and keep growing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Well, one of the things you talked about was marketing, and specifically to the downtown area, and so we have this Harvest Fest.
Yes, yeah, we have a promotions committee, and we work on lots of promotions to drive traffic into the downtown and throughout the community in terms of retail. So one of those events, like you said, is Harvest Fest this coming weekend.
Well, and as a volunteer, Laura, we'll talk a little bit about this. How many, you said this was your idea. How long ago was that?
Well, this is the 11th one, and it's hard to believe that it's 11 years already, but it's a lot of fun to be out in the fall, and we typically do it on homecoming weekends, so there's a lot of folks coming back for that, and it just kind of ties in that hometown spirit, to the event, celebrate fall and celebrate your community.
What made you decide that this was a good idea back then? Do you remember?
Oh, I have no idea.
She was just brainstorming. Well, it seems smart to me.
Well, it was fun, and I had the idea to do something out at the village, and then it became a partnership with the promotions committee, and at that time it was Owatonna Business Partnership, and it's changed a little bit over the years and that, but the sidewalk sale is always there. It's always on homecoming weekend. So a lot of good things going on. We have our scarecrow contest.
And that's kind of the big deal, isn't it?
The Merchant Scarecrow Contest, there's a traveling trophy sponsored by Oakview Nursery, by Dan and Katie, and last year Christie's won it.
Okay.
And they get a little riled up, with their scarecrows, with the different businesses and that.
And how many do you have involved in that?
Well, we've got about 7 or 8 right now.
Okay.
And we're willing to take more, so if somebody has an idea, and we'll come anywhere to judge them.
Okay.
I know we've got some, like at Trinity is going to do one, and so we go all over town.
So if somebody's interested in being a part of that, they can still do that.
Right, and they can just contact either Melanie or myself, either the Chamber office or the Historical Society, and we'll get you entered into that.
What are some of the more creative scarecrows that you've seen?
Well, one time we had one with dry ice, and so the smoke was coming out of the top of the head, and years ago Warren Simon did one that was like a robot scarecrow. We've had a plumber scarecrow that the pumpkin was the plumber's butt, complete with the cracks. So, so there's been a lot of unique and different things. And then there's just been some very, very pretty ones. Last year, Christy's daughter helped do it, Liz, and she did a lovely job, and it was just a very pretty one.
But that's not the only thing, is it? We do have, Melanie, all sorts of other activities. What are some of the other activities we have going on in the downtown area?
Yeah. Well, Laura mentioned the sidewalk sales. Friday is obviously the homecoming parade that takes place downtown. That'll bring a lot of traffic. That parade begins at 1:40. And then Saturday, we have a lot of other activities going on. And so the farmers market will continue in Central Park. And then we will have the Great Pumpkin Contest that's sponsored by ProPet. He has 3 different categories of pumpkins, but if you have a large pumpkin or even a small pumpkin, bring it down at a potential to win some chamber dollars.
So what are the 3 levels?
I think it's 0 to 50, or is it 0 to 100, 100 plus, and then the smallest pumpkin award. So if you have the smallest pumpkin out there, bring it down and we'll see. And that's all in front of the band shell. And then we have children's pumpkin painting, which is also sponsored by ProPet. And that begins at 9 and ends at 10:30. There are limited quantities, so but we're happy to have you come down and bring the kids.
So they'll get there earlier, so you can kind of make sure you can get in there and paint that pumpkin.
Yeah, and it's free. There's no charge to it.
And there's a couple other things. The walk to end Alzheimer's, this is the first time that they're doing that. They're going to leave at Morehouse. 9 a.m. is registration, and 10 a.m. the walk begins, so we want to plug that for those folks.
And so so you pay to get in, or is it a sponsored walk, do you know?
I think you have to, I'm not sure, but I would contact the Alzheimer's Association, but we're just kind of putting a plug in for them too for that day, because in the past they've sold pies in the park, but they are doing the walk this year. And then there's a artist show at Cedar Gallery on Saturday. Pam Mickworth is going to be doing a show, and then of course the pumpkin patch out at Oakview Nursery. So lots to do, lots of fun.
Well, and it sounds like a nice tradition to start with your family. Make sure you get in there, because each day has something going on, doesn't it? Or Friday is more about the shopping and that kind of thing. Same thing as Thursday,
right?
But there's something you can come down every day to do something a little bit different and start that family fall tradition of getting those pumpkins and having that good time. Will there be entertainment in Central Park?
No.
Okay. You'll be entertaining enough.
We'll be entertaining. Yeah, Melanie and I are the entertainment. Sorry.
Don't miss out. No. can't wait to see the jazz hands. I'm very excited. So, again, one of the things we talked about was this the Scarecrow contest.
Right.
If someone's interested in becoming a part of that, who do they contact?
They can contact either the Chamber office at 451-7970 or the Historical Society office at 451-1420.
So an easy way to get involved and have some fun with that. And the traveling trophy, so you're saying that there's a little bit of rivalry between the businesses?
Yeah, they kind of, they get all excited. Year after year, is it us? Is it us? So.
Is there a map at all for anyone who maybe wants to see these scarecrows themselves? Is there a way?
No, there isn't. You just have to kind of drive around and then figure out and enjoy them.
So you'll list the businesses so people will know who is doing what, so they can.
Last year I think we put everything online.
Yep, we did put
on the website.
An album of pictures on our Facebook page
Okay.
that you could look at the different ones.
Oh, good. So then there might be a list there, so if they want to see them in person as well.
Right.
Good. So this is the great for fall. Of course, we're continuing to hope to have some great Christmas things. What exciting things do we have coming up for the Chamber for the Christmas season?
We have lots of exciting things.
Holiday.
Yeah, we have Hometown Holiday in Shop Owatonna, but Hometown Holiday, we moved the parade before Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
So just a heads up to everybody out there, it'll be November 21st, the Thursday before Thanksgiving is the Hometown Holiday Parade. Any and all are welcome to put in a float. Again, they can contact the Chamber in order to do that. We just ask that it be a lighted float of some sort.
Those are the best.
It's our own little mini dazzle.
Yeah, I think it's and it's a lot of fun and to see your community and kind of before the holiday, before everything gets crazy, it'll be a good opportunity. Ladies, thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure seeing you. One more time, give us the phone numbers for the Chamber so that they can have that.
Sure, it's 451-7970.
And they can find you, of course, on Facebook too.
Yep.
All right. Well, have fun this weekend. I'll
Thank you.
come paint a pumpkin.
There you go.
Perfect.
It'll be a fairy pumpkin because that seems to be my theme today. Thank you, ladies.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with the Owatonna Today Show. Please stay with us.
Hi, Ann Plascanco here from Senior Place, and it's our 25th anniversary this year. We provide health and wellness programs, and one of those programs is massage therapy with Betsy Wright.
Yes, Repose Massage can give you pain and stress relief naturally, so make an appointment today.
Yes, and find out all the other programs and services we have to offer and join Senior Place today.
Do you know how to safely dispose of your expired or unused prescription and non-prescription medications? Not by flushing them down the toilet or putting them in the garbage. Doing so pollutes our rivers, streams, and drinking water supply. Take it to the box instead for safe, secure disposal. It's easy. Bring your unused medications in their original containers to the drop-off locations listed on the screen and drop them in the Take It to the Box drop box. Proper disposal of unwanted medications keeps them out of the hands of children and out of our environment. This is a message from the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to transitional housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome to Hawk Ridge. It's the annual hawk migration happening along the shores of Lake Superior. And in the background you can see the hawk counting observation station. We'll take a look at some of the hawks. They do net and band hawks, and then lucky people get to release them. So we'll take a look at some of the hawks that migrate along this area. I hope you enjoy it. Hawk Ridge is located above the city of Duluth It's one of the highest points of the ridge above the city of Duluth. And it was actually in the 1950s when the local chapter of the Audubon Society discouraged people from shooting the hawks and to start counting the hawks. And this area up here was actually established in 1970. It draws a lot of birders and hawk lovers every single year in September and October. This is how crowded it gets at Hawk Ridge. This is a Saturday. It's the weekend of the Hawk Ridge Festival, the middle of September. Lots of hawk watchers up here today. Oh, beautiful.
So pretty, huh? So the male falcons have a rusty red back and beautiful blue wings with black tips. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to stop doing this. It's not so bad with all the other birds, but man, their little tip of their beak is so sharp. Look at the back of her head. Do any of you see a face? Can you see a face back there? 2 eyes?
Yeah.
So if you were a predator coming up from behind her, would you think maybe she might be facing you?
Right.
Kind of a neat little defense tactic that they have. The females, everything about the females is more muted. So sometimes on the males, that comes up. And we had one the other day that looked just like a barn owl on the back of his head. Just very, very distinctive. It was very creamy with these dark centers. Beautiful little bird. So kestrels are those little telephone wire birds that we see sitting on the phone lines. They hunt by watching the fields. They eat small mammals, small birds, and large insects. We will often see kestrels flying by here, catching dragonflies on the wing and eating them as they go. It's absolutely adorable because they fly along and they just bring it up, take a bite, and then they put their feet back down and keep going and take it up and take a bite. Kestrels have this nifty ability to see UV light, and so when they're sitting on those phone lines or when they're hovering over a field, they're not just accidentally hoping to stumble across a mouse. They're watching the trails that mice use, because mice just kind of pee wherever they are, and their trails get saturated with urine, and that urine reflects UV light. So we had an upholstery cleaner here one day, and he said that that's how they find pet stains, is that they go in with UV light, and it reflects.
Just flew over us.
Oh, good. Great. So we have an adopter for this bird. So I want to take down her band number and we'll pass it off to our adopter. Our adopt program works like this. So in exchange for a $35 donation, I'm going to hand Mary this bird, and then she's going to release the bird, and we'll take her photo holding the bird. And then if we ever catch this bird again, then we will send her a card and let her know when and where that bird was relocated. Oh, look at, she likes you. She's not biting you.
Yeah, she's posing so nice.
I don't taste so good.
So then on this little tiny bird, we'll just kind of maybe make a gap here and just come that, yeah, there we go. Just let's make kind of an avenue. I'm assuming that the bird will just get up and away. And we do have a car coming from the other direction, Margie, but it stopped. So I would say go ahead and let her.
If you wouldn't mind, would you mind stepping to the side just a little bit? There we go. Yeah, then we'll get a little more of a flyway in there with a little less people.
Brandon is holding an immature, or this year's young. We also call that a hatch year bird. And this one that I'm holding, we call it ASY, which stands for after second year. And there's a couple ways that we know that this is not just a 1-year-old bird, but it's more than 2 years old. And it has to do with the way that it's molting in its new feathers. So every year they replenish all of the feathers, and so then we can look at the old feathers compared to the freshly growing in feathers. And if the old feathers are adult feathers, then we know that this bird is at least 2 years old. Because if any of the old feathers are look like this, then we know that the bird is only 1 year old. Does that make sense? So we refer to them as retained feathers, and we look at their molt. So, so this is an immature. Yellow eye, brown vertical streaking, brown, swing your hand out that way so they can see the back. Brown feathers with rusty tips on the back. And then this one, another good clue that this one is more than 2 is that red eye is getting really dark. It's a really pretty dark red. At 1 year of age, their eye is quite a bit lighter orange. Falcon's going by up here. And then we have the rusty horizontal barring, and then this bird has smooth gray, even colored feathers on its back and head.
Get the new one.
Get it? You see the yellow still at the top of the eye on this one? That's kind of neat. So it's kind of fun to get these older adults in the hand because we can really kind of do some neat teaching, especially with our volunteers. So when we're looking at their molt, so there's a couple of things that we see. First of all is that her very first feather here, the alula, is what we call in shaft. So these feathers grow out in a little papery shaft that's filled with blood and feeds the feathers. And so we can see that these here are still in shaft. And so we handle that very, very carefully because those are kind of fragile at this point in the feather development. Also, can you see this feather right here is shorter than the other ones? That tells us that one is growing in, this one here. And then when we turn her over and can look on the back side, we can tell that some of these feathers are more faded than others. So the feathers in here by her body, down in here, are more worn and more faded. And so if you're interested in seeing that up close, we can do that right before we let them go. But those are some of the things that we look for to help us age sharp-shinned hawks. So sharp-shinned hawks are woodland birds. They're the smallest member of the accipiter family that we have. They eat small birds, and so they are hunting in that. And they are very, very, very perfectly designed for chasing small birds through the woods. They have these short, rounded wings, long, narrow tails that give them great maneuverability. They've got, like other birds, the ability to hold their head perfectly still while they maneuver their bodies through the woods. They can't move their eyeballs, so they have to be able to hold their head still while they move their body. They don't want to be banging their wings and poking themselves in the eye in the bushes, so they have to be moving like this, changing direction quick and fast through the trees. And they've got 14 vertebrae in their neck, which allows them to hold their head very, very still as they maneuver their body through the holes in the foliage. Yeah, you. They're so cool. These are both female birds. They're migrating from summer territory to their winter territory, which is Central America, down into Mexico, maybe as far north as the southern United States. They're going where the birds are going. So these songbirds that migrate at night, they're kind of following them down into the forests of Central America. Following the food, yep.
So now we're going to release the sharp-shinned hawks, 2-year bird.
I'm going to have them on this side kind of just squat down so when I come up from below I can focus on the bird. And then I will say 1, 2, 3 and then give her a toss. You don't have to throw her hard, but she does need some up, okay?
Here we go.
All right, are you ready? Okay, here we go, folks. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
There, off it goes. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at Hawk Ridge. The main viewing times for Hawk Ridge is during migration in September and October, and they are open 7 days a week. And I'll leave you on a graph that shows what hawks migrate during which months. Thanks for joining us at Hawk Ridge on the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Everyone deserves opportunities to have a good life, a quality education that leads to a stable job, enough income to support a family through retirement, and good health. But the reality is, many children fall behind, many families are struggling, and many others are in poor health. United Way's goal is to find long-term solutions. Thanks to a grant from the Otto Bremer Foundation, we're hosting community conversations this year to address these issues. If you'd like to join us, please call our office.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
The Owatonna Foundation's mission is to support community progress, and the foundation has been doing just that since 1958 in the Owatonna community. By issuing over $11 million in grants, the Owatonna Foundation has helped organizations fulfill their goals in the areas of community, recreation, the arts, and education. Please consider a tax-deductible donation, a memorial, or possibly including the foundation in your estate planning so that together we can continue to make a positive, lasting impact in our community. Preserving the past, building the present, funding the future, that is what your Owatonna Foundation is all about.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We also want to thank the Owatonna Foundation for joining us as a new sponsor. And we also want to remind you that if you haven't seen us yet or you can't catch us on the local cable channel, Charter Channel 8, where we are 6 days a week, you can always find us on the internet. We are on blip.tv as well as YouTube and on Facebook. Great ways for you to catch up with what's going on in your area and do it at your convenience. That's the nice thing about the internet. Here's a quick look at some of the announcements for your area. It's time for Fire Prevention Week from October 6th through the 12th. It's the Owatonna Fire Department joining forces with the nonprofit National Fire Protection Association to remind local residents to prevent kitchen fires. According to the latest research, cooking is the leading cause of home fires. 2 out of every 5 home fires begin in the kitchen. And that's a great way to get, it's a good reminder to us to make sure that you have some sort of fire prevention system going on in your home to prevent that. And cooking fires are also the leading cause of home fire related injuries. So make sure you find out more about that. You can contact the local Owatonna Fire Department and get that information. The Steele County Historical Society is pleased to announce their children's programming for Thursday, October 3rd at the History Center. It's the History Detectives, their preschool age program. It's at 10:15 in the exhibit, that's a hard word, hall at the History Center. The topic is the harvest season. These are free children programming and they are offered the first Thursday of every month. You can get more information from the Historical Society by calling 451-1420. And this Saturday and Sunday, the Steele County Humane Society is having an opportunity for adoption at the Oak View Nursery Pumpkin Patch. So come pick out a pumpkin and a puppy. It's all great. For more information, you can contact the Humane Society at 451-4512 or the Oak View Nursery at 451-0454. Thank you again so much for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great week.